Sup? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I have a confession. I have a really, really big fear when it comes to actual content creation and stuff like that. So a lot of people ask me why I do not do collaborations or go on a lot of podcasts or do a lot of people's videos. I do get asked that stuff, and it's nothing personal for a lot of the stuff. It's really not. It's not like I really have anything against most people. It's just I have a really, really big irrational fear, and it gets a little bit more rational every day. So I'm afraid I'm going to stick my neck out for somebody. I'm going to actually go on a page or a podcast or something like that, right? And it turns out the person I stick my neck out for, I put my reputation on the line for. I'm like, yeah, this person's pretty dope. They're pretty fucking cool. Turns out they're just a giant piece of shit, right? Like they end up doing just some heinous, awful stuff. They end up running a scam. They end up doing something because at the end of the day, I put my name on that. You know, at least if I mess up, I can be like, ooh, well, I mean, I did that stuff, but I can just say sorry. I can't apologize for other people or anything like that. And I have a great example of a reason why that actually scares the hell out of me right here. This is somebody that someone has done a lot of stuff with. There's like, he did a podcast for a good little bit. He was running around this whole community, you know, had some big ass pages on that stuff. And I'm just going to tell you right now, the dude I'm about to talk about is a giant piece of shit. Alright, so the big old creepazoid, the actual piece of shit I'm going to be talking about is going to be Midnight Misdreavious. Some of you guys may know them previously as the Shadow Pokemon Podcast. I actually know them as a previous name even to that. I'll get to that later. But this person right here, they ran the Shadow Pokemon Podcast. They had some pretty big names on that podcast. I think 20 to 25 of the biggest people in Pokemon. Not like huge names, not like Pokerev or Leonhardt, but it was some pretty big people. Some up-and-coming influencers and content creators. They asked me to be on there at one point. I was actually one of the smaller people. And at that point, I was like, no, I cannot be on your podcast. I'm sorry. I kind of made up some bullshit about work ethic and things like that. Like, I couldn't really do it because I was working real hard, which I was. But at the same time, I did not want to go on that podcast. I got weird vibes about the guy. And looking and seeing what he did, because I got a message about a few days ago going like, hey, you got to check out what this homie did. You got to check out what they're saying to people in this community. After reading all this stuff, I am so glad I was never on that podcast. Let's actually crack into some of the creepy shit that he said. So just a spoiler right here, some of this stuff is kind of, you know, in your face. It's a little bit extreme, but I have to talk about it and I have to show it in order if you get the full essence of how creepy this dude is, so I can show you this stuff. So if he does pop back up, you guys can be like, oh, hell no. Alright, let's go through the first BS story right here. This was actually sent to a particular woman in the Pokemon community on the Instagram side of the house. This is the first thing that I saw a couple days ago, and this was the first tip-off. This dude is actually super fucking creepy. I'm just going to go right through it. Look, this is going to sound kind of crazy, because it is, but I'm honestly desperate and could really use this because the Navy keeps fucking me and doesn't want to pay me my single housing allowance that I've been eligible for so long. I need to save money for a car, and I'm going to have to pay off this court shit coming up, and it could be a lot. I have no idea how much yet, so I'm stressing big time over that too. But if I were to get married, I'd get paid way more almost instantly. You could literally have a free apartment with me down here if we get courted, and I'll give you a cut of the money every month to keep for the last 9 months I'm in the service. If not, it's okay, and I understand. I know it's crazy and a lot. I'm sorry. LOLOL. Ha ha ha. So right there, immediately, he's trying to get women to come down and actually marry him. He's trying to play a system. So this dude's actually in the military, and what he's talking about right here is he's not getting paid a whole lot, right? This dude's just not making a good little bit of money. He's not getting paid a single housing allowance. He's basically getting fucked by the military. And no, that's not true at all. He actually showed me that he should be getting that BAH, and if he's not getting it, it's his fault or he's doing some shady stuff. He actually told me he pays rent. I'm going to show you where he told me he pays rent. I'm going to get into how that works here in a second.
Yeah, man, so I'm originally from New York. I joined when I was 19. You know, I grew up poor as shit. A lot of my friends, or old friends, were getting hooked on heroin or just smoking too much weed, being lazy, you know. It's like, yeah, I need to fucking get out and do something with my life because I refuse to be a fucking loser. So I joined the Navy, and all the good jobs that I qualified for were not available at all when I went up to MEPS. So I just picked ABH, which fucking sucks. But my first couple years in, I loved it. I got qualled really fast. I requested to go on temporary assigned duty deployments. Like, I was hot shit. I used to be on the Bush, CVN-78, another nuclear-powered carrier. And then they cross-decked me, so they switched my orders over to the Ford. The the USS Gerald R. Ford, where I'm at now, CVN 78. Or the Bush was the CVN 77. I might have fucked that up in the last message, but whatever. But now I'm on the CVN 78, the Ford, another nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. And my old ship was way better, but they never sent me on deployment like they said they would. I went to this ship, and then the chain of command changes so many times, and then it just gets shitty, and you get tired of the tedious bullshit and just the stupidity, man. You know how it is. I'll never say I regret it at all, but like even as a single E4, I don't make that much. Right? I make like fucking. I mean, my BAH that I'm finally eligible for is just being routed now, so hopefully that comes back soon, because that'll be a huge help. My single BAH, but dude, I make like $1,200 bi-weekly, like, and I pay rent and all these other bills, like, it's fucking nuts. And I pay rent and all these other bills, like, and I pay rent and all these other bills, like, and I pay rent and all these other bills, like, and I pay rent and all these other bills, like.
So that was a fucking lie.
So this big old long pointless boring spiel here, I know, I'm sorry. The reason I showed this, I do have a reason. He's basically opening up to me about the military and how he doesn't really like it. I told him I was also in the military. He opened up immediately and started going on and on and on about how terrible, how shitty, how crappy it is. All that stuff to someone who's also in the military as well. Now look, it's not the best job. It's not always great, but there's a lot of cool things about it. There's a lot of benefits and there's a lot of dope stuff that goes with it. And honestly, it's a career that you make it. If you're going to go in there and act like a shithead, you're going to get treated like a shithead. Straight fucking up. That's how it's going to go. But the reason I showed you this is he admit to me, point fucking blank, that he has to pay rent and all that stuff, right? He pays rent and all this shit, right? So right there, he's lying to this poor woman about how like pay and all that stuff works. How he's not eligible for single housing allowance, and he's been eligible for it for so long. He needs money, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to blow this shit up right now because I don't want anyone else to do this stuff in the community later. He's lying about how that shit works. So right there.
And I pay rent and all these other bills, like.
He's paying rent. If he has been approved to leave base and actually not be in quarters, dorms, or government-provided housing that, like, the military will provide for you, they are supposed to pay you BAH. You're supposed to do the paperwork, you're supposed to kick it up, and then you're supposed to be eligible for that money immediately, and you're not supposed to leave until you get that money, right? And if you do have to leave, the military is going to back pay you. So say you miss a month of it, you have to pay for rent out of your pocket. You're going to get that rent money back plus the rent money for that month that you need to pay the next month. You're going to get your money back. That's how that works. What he's doing right here, though, is he's basically saying, I don't have it. I'm paying rent, and they're not giving me money. The military is just fucking me. What's happening here is, A, he either didn't do the paperwork, or B, he's supposed to still be in government quarters, and he's not. He's actually ghosting his room, and he went behind the military's back and is actually paying for an apartment somewhere else out of his own money, which is his own damn fault because he shouldn't be doing that if he's not allowed off base. How much money does he make for housing allowance? It can't be fucking that much, right? Well, he actually told me where he's stationed, too. I'm not going to show you where he's stationed because I'm not going to be responsible for anybody going after this dude, but he told me exactly where he's stationed. I looked up the BAH for that stuff, right? So right there, he makes about $1,400 in BAH if he's making that single rate, which he should be getting if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? Now, here's where he's lying to her once again. He's going to get paid way more if he, like, gets married. That's fucking false. With dependents, which would be if you're married, doesn't matter how many extra kids you have, doesn't matter wife or anything like that, you only get paid approximately $280 more a month, plus you'll get a little bit more food money. So let's be generous here. Let's say he's going to make another $380 a month. Now, he's already having money problems. He can't afford a fucking car, right? So how is he going to split this extra $380 with this girl if he needs to save it in order to do other stuff, right? That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Kind of sounds like he wants her around for something else, right? And he actually does do that shit later on. He actually immediately, the next slide shows his true fucking form right here. So, haha, hey, do you want to get married so I can scam the government out of money? Totally just a joke, right? Nothing with, but hey, right here, if you want to see a picture of my dick for science, just let me know. It won't be weird, and it doesn't have to be something I'm like, is it ugly? So I like when people and certain friends rate it for me if they don't mind. Ha 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 ha, we might actually get fake married or anything like that, and I want you down here in a free apartment. So you want to see my dick beforehand? Maybe that'll be something cool. That's not fucking creepy at all. Of course, in which she replies, I do not want to see your dick. Which case, he's like, oh, that's what I figured. All good. And, like, tucks his fucking dick back in between his legs. Like, nope, I'm good. So, immediately, you can kind of see what he's doing here. He's kind of trying to, like, bait and trap someone to come over there. He wants someone to actually take the bait for the money and all that stuff. And it's just not working. That's not what he wants. He doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. He wants a woman to come down there and actually be with him. and the way he's trying to do it is enticing them with other things because the shit he has done previously is not working. Dude's like the actual definition of a fucking incel. And right here, he has to actually be like, hey, do you want to rate my dick instead of, like, it's so fucking creepy. It's so goddamn weird. He's lying about money, and it's fucking weird, dude. Oh, but Opossum, maybe he is struggling with money. Maybe he's just actually trying. That was just a funny joke. It was just funny and all that stuff. Maybe the military really isn't paying him money, and maybe he actually gets a really small paycheck. Oh, no. See, government pay and anybody who's actually paid anything, that's public information. You can look up military pay charts all you want. And this jackass told us his rank. He actually posted his common access card online right here, so I immediately know he's an E4 and he's about to get out. So he's been in roughly like 4 to 6 years. You can actually look up how much this guy makes. So looking at this pay chart for 2022, anywhere from a 4 to 6 year E4 makes about $2,700 to $2,900, right? That's a month. So where is all this money going? Where's this money going that he just doesn't have or anything, right? He's having to pay for rent. He's having to do this stuff, which is bullshit, by the way. He should be getting BAH, and if he's not, he's basically a fucking idiot for not going and talking to anybody about that. But where's this money going? Where's all this money going that he's going? Hey, what if I told you he's not just talking to this girl right here trying to get her to come up? He's actually buying multiple women lots of expensive stuff such as Pokemon cards, Pokemon merchandise, or just other little knickknacks and things like that he's trying to get people to come down and do, right? He's actually sending really expensive gifts. I can actually prove that. Here's another woman that he was talking to.
I've been friends with Johnny for almost this whole time I've been in the Pokemon community, and like I thought he was a good friend, but see, like Steph, we both felt bad for him because of his mental illnesses, because we both have mental health issues like with depression and all that. But he's always been creepy, and now I see how it goes. Like, he sent me a package one day that had, expensive ass cards and just a ton of stuff, and I was so thankful for it, right? But then I realized he's been sending packages to all girls, and now I see why. It's a way to get their attention, right? That's the first thing. But then he starts getting all creepy to you and asking you like freaking questions like that. Like, will you rate my dick? Oh, no big deal. Like, who the fuck says that shit? Like, what the fuck? I've brushed off like the weird things he said to me, honestly. I have. But see, I gave him my email when he went on his Navy trip, and I will sometimes get a message in my email. I'll get a text message and a message on Instagram all at once, and I'm always just like, what the fuck, this is too much. But he would always complain about the Navy, how they treat him so bad, and he would just complain and complain for hours. Like, I have him in my text, I finally found them, about him talking shit. But now, you know what, honestly, it's probably because you fucking asked your fucking lieutenant to rate your dick or something. You know what I mean? Like, why would they treat you bad? They shouldn't, unless you're the one who has problems, right?
Yep, lots of expensive gifts to the point where it's kind of overwhelming for people, which means his stuff's not cheap. He's actually sending a lot of money stuff out to not just this woman, but I suspect many other women in an attempt to buy their love, to see who actually comes down and hangs out with this fucking creepazoid, right? This actual fucking loser who literally has nothing better to do than harass women and try to get them to come down, right? Hey, do you want to look at my dick? You want to look at this stuff, right? Now, assuming a woman does come down, he's spending all his money on these girls. He's blowing it all. He's not getting his allowance, right? Is he going to stop doing this stuff when other people are around? Is he going to stop spending money on all these places? I super fucking doubt it. It's his own fault. He doesn't have money. He's trying to scam a system. He actually shows his true intentions immediately by being like, hey, you want to look at my genitalia? You want to check that stuff out? Hey, it might be really small, might be diseased, but you want to measure my tiny little pecker?
How about no?
Oh, but Opossum, these girls here, these pokey girls, they know they want it, right? They know they want all this stuff, and they're just being little teases, little hoes and all that stuff. Oh, they're being so weird, and I mean, it's just one instance, right? He was just asking, hey, can you look at my penis? And he asked, he didn't even do, no, there's a track record of this. First of all, if you think like that about the women in Pokemon, I kind of question how you feel about other things, too, and that's kind of a red flag to me to begin with. And then second of all, nope, not even the only instance he's done. There's a whole track record. Not even the only person he asked to rate his micro penis, as you can see very clearly right here. Hey, do you mind rating my dick? And they're like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. Please don't do that. I don't want to look at that. And they kind of just want him to go away right there. But for podcast episodes too, I'm just going to show you something. I mean, he hits on them, saying he hit and all that stuff, good quality stuff. But look at this stuff. I'm just going to read another. And this one's really weird. If I stammer, it's something else. So Love the podcast, Jenny. Thank you so much for saying I made it seem easy, haha. OMG, now I feel like I can tell you more about some of what I'm into. Emojis. So I've always wanted to go to an event like that and fuck a girl with a bunch of people low key. I think it's really hot when girls get fucked by a few guys or gangbanged, just because I'm the type of person that I get super turned on by the girls' reactions and pleasing them. Literally every time I've had and have sex, I made the girl come just from fucking them alone. I had an XGF when we were together squirt all over my face and across my bed while I was eating her out and fingering her, and it was the hottest thing ever to me. Huh, whoa, what a crazy story, am I right? That's so crazy. Whoa. He believes in this stuff so much that he tries to send the person a link to like a porn site to be like, hey, here's what I want to do. Here, I want you to go somewhere and I want 6 dudes to come out and we can all do this to you. Hey, we can go to like Collecticon. We can go do a Pokemon card event. And we could be trading Bulbasaurs and talking about Charizard cards. And then you can get fucked by 6 dudes. Doesn't that sound great? Whoa. And look, if you're into that, if that's something that like both parties are willing to do or everybody involved's cool with, but I mean very clearly going into someone's message and they're not responding to any of the stuff that you say, and you keep going and you try to drop some pornographic links and stuff, bro, you're a fucking creep. Take the goddamn hint. Go the fuck away. But this isn't even it. This isn't even where the stuff ends. It gets worse from here. So the person that I know this person has a Shadow Pokemon podcast, a Midnight Mischievous person, is actually kind of surprising. There's somebody who's been around here before. This person's actually the same person as Psychic Reaper. Now, for some people in the Instagram side of the Pokemon community, when I actually made a video discussing this stuff, this might be a little bit familiar to you. Psychic Reaper was the person that was stalking and harassing someone, a big name in Pokemon on the Instagram side, called Togekiss. Basically messaged her, was like talking to her a little bit. She responded a little bit back, and then he started getting weird. He started getting real creepy, and he decided to stalk and like follow and like do all this stuff to like her friends in an attempt to get to her. Togekisses was not a big fan of that at all. Basically had a lot to say back to that, as she should have. And this dude made it seem like that she was the crazy one. There's some people in the Pokemon community that was like, wow, what a crazy woman. She like literally, he's just asking her like how stuff is, and he just wants a chance to get to know her. And she's going so crazy and all this stuff. She's just an absolute crazy woman. Can't even handle people talking to her. When in all actuality, he was being a major fucking creepazoid. Now, hey, Opossum, how do you know this person is Psychic Reaper? How would you even know that stuff? How can you make that connection? What, because they're both super creepy? No. See, Psychic Reaper actually sent selfies of himself to another person in the Pokemon community right here, as you can see him. Woo, look at that sailor outfit, boy. Oh, you're looking so good. Hey, what does this picture look like? Oh, looks like Shadow Pokemon Podcast right here. And hey, who posted this cat card right here? Who posted this beautiful picture? Oh, man. All 3 of them are this Johnny guy right here. All 3 of them. All 3 of them are the same creepy dude, man. This is some creepy, awful, disgusting shit. And he has done this to multiple people that have not felt comfortable enough to come forward and didn't want some of their stories shared or anything like that. I'm sharing with you what people have allowed me to share, what people are telling me I'm okay to do. And if this person comes back, because once again, they already changed their name for who they are. They already changed their whole profile. This is what they go by now. Feel free to go, report that page, or at least go look into that, right? But this person right here is really good at taking off an old face and putting on a new one and going full force of stuff. This dude's a fucking creep. Midnight Mischievous, Shadow Pokemon Podcast, who a lot of people did a podcast with. And hey, it's not your fault. You didn't know who this guy was. He fooled a lot of people here. But now that you know who they are, and if you see this person come back, this Johnny, this Psychic Reaper, this Shadow Pokemon Podcast, this fucking Midnight Mischievous guy right here, and if you see this dude's face anywhere, because I'm posting all this stuff and I don't give a shit what's happening. Like, this dude wants to lie about his military career. He wants to lie about military pay. He wants to try to entrap women. He shows his dick, tries to do so, and like to everybody, right? He tries to show that shit. No, nobody wants to rate your fucking half-inch dick, dog. No one wants to do that stuff. People that oh my god, like, I hate being like this. But what a fucking incel, guy. What a fucking virgin that you gotta do this stuff and you can't take no for him. I hate saying that stuff. I hate calling people that. But this dude's a creep. I want this out there so you guys can see this stuff. He has sent several things. I'm sure in the background, just what people have felt comfortable with me sharing. I've got all this stuff playing right here. And once again, I know this is an extremely vulgar and sensitive topic for some people. This has to be out there. This person was in the Pokemon community going around doing podcasts. He was trusted, and he's been doing this stuff to the women in the Pokemon community. And that's just a no-no, man. That ain't gonna fucking fly with me. I hope you guys see this. Feel free to do what you want with the video. Feel free to share it, or, do what you will. Just look out for each other here, okay? Clickbait and like people selling stuff for high price and stuff like that. Yeah, that shit's annoying. Yeah, that's not really that bad compared to an actual creep right here, okay? And this just needs to get out, okay? I hope you're having a good night. Stay safe out there, please. Do not be sending out your address to certain people, especially if they live in the Virginia area or anything like that, because that's where this guy is. And just letting you know, be safe, look out for people, and if something seems weird, it's probably weird. Have a good night. See you later.